this is Vivi here, catching you in the beautiful Rebel stock. So this time I have a mic on, so hopefully that is not so bad and that it can pick up my voice clear without so much background noise. So today I have a special message to share with you. If you haven't got to know my dog Marco, you probably don't know what his face would look like if I only show you his back, right? Because he's pretty much not coherent at all, and that's the reason why I named this video that "Don't let this dog fool you." Because what you may interpret is not exactly what you think it is, and this video is all about interpretation today. So you may have guessed he's like a border collie, a Dalmatian, or a blue heeler, which I think blue heeler would be a much better guess than the other two. So he is pretty much the truth about life, because sometimes our interpretation is based on our filter, based on our beliefs that we are familiar with, that we have been indoctrinated since we were young. And so that is pretty much what we know, but we cannot see beyond that filter classes unless we take it off. So that means that sometimes when we see things, it may not be exactly what it is, or sometimes when we think or interpret certain things, it may not be the truth of what it is. So recently before I left Vancouver, I did a challenge for my coaching program, and in the challenge it required me to go lay down in public places of my choice, and I chose to go to the mall, the biggest mall of BC, and I have my friend Javier to help me record the video. So the purpose of the challenge is to overcome my fear of judgment and my fear of embarrassment. But the challenge really helped me to understand beyond the fact that I get to overcome these fears, but it's also helped me to understand interpretation, and pretty much everything that we do in our life, the results or the actions that we put out into the world is based on our interpretation. So do you see that interpretation is huge, because it's actually drive our life. The consequences, the results, what we create in life comes from our interpretation. So it actually have a really huge impact, and that's why I think it's such an important message to share with everyone out there, because it did impact me as well, and how I wanted to live my life, and how it blocked me from achieving my dream and anything that I want in life, pretty much. So let me show you the footage, and then I will explain further about interpretation. Okay, before we jump into the challenge, I just really want to say thank you to all my new subscribers that helped me to grow this channel. Any likes and comments are very, very much appreciated. It has helped me to get my videos out there and also helped me to keep going. So thank you. Okay, TCP, I'm gonna do the laid out challenge at the mall. I'm in Metropolis right now, and this is the crowdest and the biggest mall in BC, and see how it goes. I'm gonna hand the phone to my friend to record this. It's gonna be a fun challenge. Okay, so let's the challenge begin. So I just put my jacket down there just to
get my head a little bit more comfortable in such an uncomfortable environment. In my opinion, this challenge didn't get me so much out of my comfort zone like the last one that I did with Dennis. So that one did in fact make me feel a bit awkward, but this one I thought it was fine. It didn't kill me. I was still alive. So the challenge required me to lay down there for 3 minutes. I set my timer for 4 minutes just to get myself ready. But then my friend Javier forgot to tell me that the time was up. So I ended up laying down there for like almost 5 minutes. I think he was a little bit nervous, but I'm very proud of him for helping me with this challenge, and I think we learned so much from it together. So the security guy from the other side just walked over and he was just asking me like what I was doing laying down there because it is such a strange situation. So I get it. And he said that he was going to talk to his supervisor because he wasn't sure what to do because I said I was just doing a challenge for my coaching program just to overcome my fear of judgment and get out of my comfort zone. And he said, okay, that's fine. And it was only for a few minutes. So he said he was going to talk to his supervisor. So I was just laying down there minding my own business. I didn't really do anything to anyone. But as you can see, people started to stare at me, especially after the security guy. People may interpret some kind of stories in their head. And so he came back and he was telling me that I was causing chaos in the mall. I wonder if he actually realized that he participated in the chaos himself for standing next to me and talking to me in his uniform. It could emphasize the situation and attract more attention from other people walking by, right? Instead of like if he just let me alone not doing anything. So I wonder if he actually get that. So when we get out of our comfort zone, as you can see, that it may hinder us to see the truth and the fact itself. The only fact in this situation was that I was just laying down there and I didn't do anything, literally nothing. I wasn't talking to anyone, I wasn't cussing at anyone, I didn't hit anyone or touch anyone. But people around me could interpret so many different stories in their head, like this security guy does. So, do you see that when we get out of our comfort zone because of our survival instinct, that's the job of our brain. That's what it's supposed to do. But whether you are aware that the story and the interpretation that you make in your head when you get out of your comfort zone in strange situation like this, whether you interpret stories that works for you, um, or whether it locks you to see the truth itself. So, what is it like in your life? Like, where else in your life that you would interpret stories like this? Because whenever you get out of your comfort zone, are you aware of your own actions and your own thoughts to actually see the truth and the fact itself?
Okay, so we are back to the scene now, and Marco is back. If you miss him, uh, so okay. The reason why I wanted to show you that footage is because let me just hold it like this. This thing is really annoying. It doesn't work really well. I wouldn't recommend it at all. What you wanna smell it? What is it? What is it? So the reason why I wanted to show you that footage that the challenge that I did for my coaching program is because interpretation is such a huge impact in pretty much our lives. Is pretty much the thing that drives the creation of our life. So I actually had several people that came and talked to me and told me that they wanted to live the lifestyle that I want to live. They wanted to have the kind of freedom that I have as well, like going on different places, like here and there, traveling anytime that they want, and don't have to worry so much about such and such. And then they said because they have jobs and families and relationships and responsibilities and so many things. But that is pretty much also interpretation as well. Even though it is responsibilities, but it is also interpretation. It's actually limiting interpretation. So, for instance, before I get to be a nomad, I actually had the belief that because I am Vietnamese, so I cannot be a nomad. I cannot travel around the world because my Vietnamese passport have so much restriction. Like everywhere I go, I would have to plan way ahead in advance, and I would have to apply for visa, and I have to go through security and background check and all that stuff. So when I met my friend James, I I was really inspired and I wanted to be a nomad just like him, but I could never be like him because I'm not a I'm not a British born citizen, so I'm not like the first world citizen. I don't have the freedom to travel around the world like James does. And so I was really jealous at him. I So I carry the belief that there's a correlation. I had to be a first world citizen in order to gain the freedom to travel the world. Regardless, I am going to achieve that. But I actually get to achieve the dream of being a nomad before being the first world citizen. So there's no correlation. Do you see? That was actually an interpretation that I made up in my mind. So that's what I mean about the future classes that we wear based on our beliefs and things that we were indoctrinated with when we were young. So really, that do you see like how these interpretations actually hold us back from achieving what we want? And so now that I'm achieving the nomadic life, I couldn't stop asking myself what would be my interpretation now to go forward to the next step, to achieve the next dream that I want to have, to grow and evolve and to enrich my life. And so I started to realize that the interpretation that I meant is that I am not enough. So that comes from the fear of not being good enough. Nothing is actually enough for me. And so that's the reason why I started to let go of all of these negative beliefs, because the dream that I want to achieve next, it requires me to let go of this interpretation, just like the previous interpretation that I let go of, that there's actually is not true, that I had to be a first world citizen in order to be the nomad, but it's actually quite the contrary. So that's what I mean when we look at things and when we see things, we may interpret it one way, but it could be a different way. So when you take off these filter classes, would you see more opportunities? Would you see more or different possibilities for you to achieve the dream that you want to have. Hopefully that this video would start bringing you some awareness about your life, your interpretation, and your beliefs, so that you can start taking off those filter glasses, and start seeing possibilities and opportunities, that things you can do, that can actually help you to get closer to the dream that you want, to the lifestyle or the freedom that you really want to achieve in your life, because it did make an impact on me. So I really hope that it would also make an impact on you as well, by shifting our mindset, the way we look at things in the world and the way we look at things in our life. So that is it that I want to share. I will catch you in the next video. Start going out there and make your life, your dream life, actually happen. I will catch you in the next video. Bye.